And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of the Hot Tag. We are live on location at the Irish American. What the hell are you doing, really? That's what we're doing for episode 10.
Yeah, episode 10. We're smelling feet, baby.
What are you, Al Bundy?
Don't make me put the
Yeah, no. Let's.
I can do that, Bundy.
Yeah, let's get back on. I'm back on topic. Episode 10. Oh, it's gonna be one. And I'm the one drinking, not them. No.
Yeah,
Anyway,
true.
it's America's favorite agent, AJ Pan here, along with my co-founder and tag team partner, the 5-star star Joey Ace, and Brandon Lewis, the authentic one. What the hell is wrong with you today?
I'm in a good mood.
Dude, it's the heat. It's the heat. It's the heat.
I guess the heat's getting to you, man.
Yeah, it's hot out
We
here.
gotta keep it. This is not the
It's
special.
episode 10. It's a party.
I guess so.
Do what I want.
Jesus! Don't make a mess.
No predictions.
No predictions.
No predictions today. We're going wild.
We're going. It's off the cuff. This man always goes on a tangent, so we're letting him run wild today.
Yes.
We're keeping him on a time limit. So.
I do what I want.
Do what you want. High five.
Yeah, I got a hot tag for that. Do what I want.
You know, while we have a second, I want you guys to tell our viewers, maybe a little background on yourselves. Joey Ace, just give me a little bit of quick background. How long have you been wrestling?
Better part of like almost 5 years. It's kind of New York indie scene, Northeast, a little bit, down south, a little bit, like, Delaware and stuff like that.
Any favorite promotions you've worked for, favorite matches you've done,
Favorite
favorite
matches.
moments you've encountered so far?
With Angel Ortiz, the Funky Monkey, but back when he was a Puerto Rican prodigy, Fight the World Wrestling, we had some pretty good matches. We had this one tag match. It was me and Wes Draven against Dan Barry and Dan Barry and Angel Ortiz, I believe, and Ken Scampy. It's like a three-way. I'm not sure who else was in it. I'm really confused. They got knocked out in that match, but that was a pretty good match out in Long Island. It was around Concomer at the Center Island Sports. That was pretty good. Gen X TLC match, first main event. That was one of goes up there as one of my favorites. Then again, me and Ortiz at the Elks Lodge, new Elks Lodge, like 2 years ago, killed each other. Almost broke my back. And with Wes
Funky
Draven.
Monkey.
Yeah, Funky Monkey.
And Wes Draven.
And Wes Draven won the first time we met, and it was at Fight the World Wrestling. And then the second time we went at it was at FWE at Three-Legged Dog Studios.
Yes.
That impromptu.
That
Joey
was-
has a match.
That's right.
2 minutes to get ready.
That was
Yeah.
actually that was actually very fun. I was a part of that, and I had.
Hey, 2 minutes is all you needed. There you
Yeah.
2
go.
minutes is all I needed, baby.
But it was a great show.
Laced up those boots and ran out there.
It was a very fun match, actually.
Yeah, you should have been there, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was fun, actually. It was a fun segment that led to
I
that.
wasn't part of this clique yet.
That's right.
Jesus.
And I believe it deserved a little more recognition than what it got.
I consider it. Yeah, it was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, it was.
I like bringing that match up.
Match
That was
pretty
at
good.
Dysfunctional Family.
There should be more one-on-ones with the 5-star
Great
stud
memory.
I agree.
and some other guys in the FWE.
I agree. Joey should be pushed more prominently.
Man, I'm just saying, like,
This is
best
Mark.
ones going solo sometimes, you know what I mean?
We'll have to see
And look,
about that.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan of tag team wrestling, but, the
But-
5-star studs over.
There's only one world champion.
There's only one world championship.
It's time for this diamond to shine. Right, right.
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
I need
Michael
a
Cervello
refill,
on
man.
there.
Well, what have you done? Who are you?
What about? I am America's favorite AJ Pan.
Yeah, this guy's been in it for a while, man.
Well, professionally, actually involved, I'd say for the better part of, well, currently I'd say 2 years. Did a couple of indies before that, but took a break. But I came up the old school way, being as I am not an actual trained wrestler. I went around the circuits doing whatever I can when I was in high school to be in the business, writing for newsletters like the Wrestling Chatterbox, held by my good friend, the late Georgie Macropolis. Worked for the old school Dennis Corluzzo NWA, did Polaroids with him, helped out backstage on occasion when they were in New Jersey. Helped out the Elks Lodge for the old ECW, doing merchandise, whatever they needed.
How
So-
old are you again?
I am 33.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm up there, man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, currently work for FWE now. Very happy to be a part of that. Been the ring announcer, media relations guru, as I've been called.
Media relations guru.
Yes.
I like it.
The agent to many stars, branched out to FTW. I manage the Rockstar there now. Favorite moments? Well, I've had two matches, been in the Rumble. Those are my two matches
I think
in history.
your first time in the Rumble was great.
The last
year.
one with Jay Lethal, that was very fun. I broke my cherry there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That was
He
fun.
broke
He
his
broke
cherry.
more than-
Yeah,
She
I broke
didn't
it.
pop his cherry.
No, I
He
broke
his cherry.
it. Lethal broke my cherry. Yeah, that was a fun moment.
Okay.
And this past month, I got to live out a childhood dream and introduce Tommy Dreamer and Rob Van Dam. So basically, like me being a part of ECW in a sense.
Gotcha.
It was very
Man,
cool.
you did a fabulous job. Just like
Thank you.
being like the ring announcer, I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You had that big time feel to yourself, and I like that. It was cool.
Thank you. I
Kind of
appreciate
gave
that.
it more, and it was cool not bringing somebody else in to do it. You
Yeah.
know,
I know there was rumors about that happening, but yeah.
Were there rumors?
There were rumors, and there was.
Is it Mike Travello?
No, there was some
Okay.
backstage politics that didn't come to pass that day.
like, who's gonna be? Who's gonna be? Who's the guy?
Former ECW ring announcer was trying to.
Oh,
Mr.
that
Steven
guy.
DeAngelis was at the arena and
Yeah, I was
wanted to be
I
a
don't
part of
know,
that match,
you
but
know,
you know.
you see him backstage. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
is he gonna be ring
I'm like,
announcer?
yeah, what's this happening? But
No, that's okay, buddy.
no, but
You screwed it up, bro.
I screwed it up. Please.
He pulled out the friendship card. It was like, bam, boss man, dude.
I'm like, not happening.
Ain't happening, bro. That's just dead.
FWE since day one. But anyway, Mr.
Yeah.
Brandon Lewis. Now, give us a little backstory on yourself.
Well, as a young lad, inspired by Hulk Hogan, I wanted to do both getting into acting and professional wrestling after the classic cinematic thriller that was No Holds Barred. And so, in my,
Zeus!
yeah, that was great acting right there, phenomenal. So in my youth, I was did some off Broadway acting, so that was cool. And then I broke into actually getting into the wrestling area with 2KW, and what was that? That was 2 years ago, in Ace in Jersey, in Ace Arena in Jersey, which is closed at the moment. I'm very sad about that. But that was fun, and I started out there as a commentator. At the next show, I began my managing career, and now I'm just kind of like a jack of all trades. I'm almost
You're an ejaculate of all trades.
yes, I'm.
Jackal.
I'm a jackal of all trades. No, I'm a jack of all trades. I work with 1495 Sports, which you're watching right now, as their stick man. You know, I show up at regularly at shows like
Yeah.
FWE, FTW, G1.
You do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Very,
So I've got to talk to a lot of people, and I'm not sure if I have a favorite, like highlight that I can say.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of your Paul London
The
interviews.
Paul London interviews are
trilogy
probably
is,
my
yeah.
favorite. Yeah, I'm working on episode 4, No Hope. I'm hoping.
No hope.
Yeah, No Hope. I'm hoping to do that. Because I think we need to start naming them. It's just
We do, yeah.
Paul London is my favorite tag team partner.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in talks with him. We got to do a whole series with 1495 dedicated
Yeah.
to Paul London. He's a trip to talk to.
Yeah, getting to talk to Diamond Dallas Page was.
That was a fun, yeah.
That was interesting. That was something that I didn't think was gonna happen, and it was very like spur of the moment. Like he had a line and everything, and there was actual wrestling going on in the background. So we didn't even think we'd get that, and it probably wasn't the long, extensive, fun interview that
Right.
you'd expect. But the fact that we were able to talk about his project, DDP Yoga, and to have that experience was awesome. So I still put that up there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I remember when I first met you. You was just like this little. Met him in Brooklyn at the Ludus, and he was just kind of like this little kid. He's just like, we're just wrestling, just kind of
Yeah.
hanging around.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I'll say that doing a commentary for Homicide versus Shane Douglas for Fight in Spirit Wrestling was also very, very cool.
Nice.
Because I've watched Shane Douglas. That was
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, and actually being able to be part of the show and call the action, amazing, great experience.
He was quick. Like I had a year and some change there, and I know one of our viewers asked about like lucha libre and Mexican style.
Yes,
wrestling.
let's get into the fans' choice
That-
part so you could
Yeah, when
tag into that.
I guess right, but when I went in there for like the year and a half, man, that place you learn a lot with like the lucha libre and Japanese style of
Where's that?
professional wrestling, at the Ludus.
Ludus.
And like being there too, when you asked about favorite moments, like each one of those matches that I had there were pretty cool and they were different. You know, you got to hang out with, like, you got to rock and roll with, all right, you know, you do the American Indie style band, right? Then you kind of do that, you know, TV style match. Then you go out there and just throw it all out there. Just go nuts. And one of those favorites was me and Sam Shields.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That was a good match.
And that match was like probably one of the machine. Sam Shields took a German off the top rope.
All right, so this is Fans' Choice. I'd like to give a shout out to Diane McNicholas, Mike McNicholas, Ricardo, Edwards. Yeah, sorry. Hot day. They gave us some good topics. We discussed some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you guys want to start off?
Go ahead.
Anyone in particular?
Throw it out there. I don't care. Go random.
Let's see. Let's go. Favorite matches of all time.
Oh, that's easy for me. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle.
Which time? They had about 2 or 3.
I enjoyed the one at, I think they had one at Vengeance, but that WrestleMania match, that first one, that was my jam right there. And it was the first time going at it. They didn't have any tag matches or anything. I don't even know if they had any house show matches beforehand to prepare themselves. This is the first time it's going to happen here at WrestleMania. Who's the greatest of all time? You know, you got the Olympic wrestler Kurt Angle, who's also, you know, won many titles in professional wrestling in I think it's WWF at the time. And then you got the showstopper, the main event, you know, Mr. WrestleMania, and it was the battle to see who is like the better wrestler, and they both put on just such an amazing, dramatic show. And I believe seeing some sort of comments, like, you know, you read them online, so you don't really know how accurate they are, but I believe Bobby Heenan, who had seen WrestleMania 3, you know how they talk about Savage versus Steamboat being, you know, the greatest, you know, one of the greatest matches, or the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. And he said when he saw Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, I just saw the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. That's it. I don't think it gets better than that.
That was a fantastic match. Going back to Steamboat Savage, yeah, it's tough. People, you know, always compare those two eras because it was totally different. Where back in the day it was very more storytelling.
But see, I think the attention span of people then and the people now is different. Yeah, not so much the era obviously is different, but the dynamic of the story is still the same throughout all these decades and all these years. Good versus evil, you put something in there and you just kind of let it unfold. Like, you know, Savage and Steamboat, you know, Savage took the ring bell to Steamboat, bam, and it was just a gradual build-up.
Yeah.
You had that same build-up with Shawn, and not the same thing that happened, but it was like, who's the best? Who's the man?
Right.
You know, you had the same build-up. But, yeah, as of now, you got YouTube and everything.
Yeah,
So
you can always go back and watch.
Everything happens
And
quicker,
yeah.
you know?
Besides that,
So-
too, you have the advent of MMA, which at that time, too, was
Yeah.
I think at one of its high points when they were feuding. So it's more, you had then, too, more of a high-impact style match, whereas, you know, Steamboat and Savage, where it was a more emotionally driven kind of match, and it was more slow build-up to the climactic finish.
I mean, there's a lot of different things when you talk about eras and the different influences. You know, time, place is another thing. You know, if you look at Savage and Steamboat, you can compare it as a different time. But if you look at just that match alone from WrestleMania 3 and compare it against every other WrestleMania 3 match, it wasn't like any of the other matches because Savage and Steamboat, they have a different style, and I think Shawn Michaels represents that, you know, traditional American wrestling style, whereas, you know, Kurt Angle has that ground amateur wrestling style. So there's a contrast of styles. Like you said, the build-up is still the same. You know, the result that you're looking for, the reaction from the fans is what you want. And you follow, I guess, the same principles. Who's the best? Who deserves it, you know, whether it's for the belt or not, who's the best?
Another one, I don't mean to cut you off, another WrestleMania match, and it was one of my favorites, was Razor and Shawn at WrestleMania 10 at the Garden, and that just, you know, Shawn Michaels getting, you know, suspended, not losing the title at all, and then they're having a battle royal. Razor wins the championship, then Shawn Michaels comes back and says, well, what are you doing? Like, this is my, like, you're not the champion, I'm the champion, I never lost this belt. And they're like, oh, you know what? Well, you never lost the belt. I'm the new champion. How about we just put the two belts up there and let's just, you know, whoever climbs gets the belts first is the champion, is undisputed champion. So, but yeah, it's just like that whole dynamic, that whole story. You know,
So what was one of your favorite matches of all time?
that was my
That one?
was it.
Oh, okay. 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 I
Yeah.
don't know if you were keeping on a WrestleMania theme or just.
It doesn't have to be WrestleMania. It just happened. To be
Right.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. What was it? Brett and Bulldog from SummerSlam
That was
'92.
That was a great match.
Um,
Yeah.
Even there's another one. There's so many. So many. Punk and Chris Hero, IWA Mid South
I didn't
for
see
the
that
TLC.
I didn't
The TLC.
see that.
You guys didn't see that?
No, I didn't see it. I don't have the DVD. It's
Or-
not on Netflix.
Or Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio against CM Punk,
That I saw.
IWA again Mid South. That was amazing.
I gotta go with my favorite Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko from ECW's Hostile City Showdown.
The 2 out of 3.
No, the actual one before that, like right, one of the
Okay.
first times they met.
ECW?
Yeah. Because that proved, to me, like that proved, like to all I think of the naysayers who thought it was ECW was just blood and guts. These guys went out there for a half hour. Really, nobody besides the hardcore tape traders at that time. So the internet wasn't really that big.
Right.
It was starting to boom. There was tape trading, and they're the really only ones who knew who Eddie Guerrero Dean Malenko was. This was their first national exposure, and they put on a classic. They introduced to America those 5-6 series of pinning reversals,
Right.
the backslide into the cradle,
Wow.
all back and forth. So I think they set a standard right there for what would become, the import of luchadors for that kind of style, in
Yeah.
a sense.
You talk about the tape trading. That reminded me because I used to do a little bit of that. I didn't have a lot of people that I could do the tape trading with. Because I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know if the wrestling community was as mainstream as it is, so I didn't really have people that I could talk to. It's like, let's take, look at this, watch this.
Yeah.
I remember going to Queen Center Mall, and they actually had a wrestling booth, like
Yes.
a little tape trading booth, and I bought my Best of Great Muta DVD, no tape, VHS tape, and that turned me on to. It didn't turn me on to Japanese wrestling because WCW is what got me into that. They had a very world-renowned kind of feel to it, and but they put me on a Great Muta, and I remember buying my Great Muta tape from Queen Center Mall. Good
Nice.
stuff there. Yeah.
Okay, so now, let's see. Next topic, a hot button that was happened this week about a lot of TNA releases. So let's discuss a little bit of the whole TNA situation with the current releases and a lot of the stories that are coming out of that.
Do you know everybody who's released? I
let's
know
see if
Christian York was.
Christian York, Joey Ryan, one of my favorites, Hollywood Joey Ryan, who will be appearing for FWE on October 12th. So
Yes.
check out that. He'll be in the open weight Grand Prix
that the date of
tournament.
the next one, October 12th?
Open weight Grand Prix.
I didn't know about that either. I get MMA fans, I think, should know this because that's what I was told by my boss, Georgia Schneider. It's an MMA kind of thing, which means all the weight classes are able to be combined. So, you'll have heavyweights competing against the Triborough contenders, stuff like that.
Are the Triborough contenders only lightweights?
No, but I mean, let's say back in the day, you wouldn't see really Hulk Hogan mixing with,
Right.
the Intercontinental title contenders. You're going to see everybody mixing in now. The Triborough title contenders mixing with the
Okay.
World Heavyweight title contenders. It's going to be an open mix. And, Joey Ryan will be making his debut. He's one of the competitors. Still a lot to be announced. But, Joey Ryan is one of them. Christian York, Taylor Hendricks. I believe there are 2 others who I cannot think of right now. Sam Shaw, I think, was one. Mainly gut check competitors.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. The gut check series.
That was a good check.
The whole thing, I don't want to mock it, but it didn't make a lot of sense to me because it seemed, and as a non-regular TNA viewer, it seemed as if they were trying to hire people every month. That's what it seemed like. It's like, all right, you're hired. It's like, all right, I mean, I could be wrong because I'm not a regular viewer.
But I don't think they fired I know Tony Nese did a gut check.
He got a contract.
He got a contract and he asked for his release.
Did
Yeah.
he do gut check? I don't remember him do. Well,
I don't know if he was gut check,
Did he
but-
do the ones before they started doing it on TV? Yeah, that's different. They were talking about the whole the kind of tough enough one they're
Yeah.
It
doing.
was the same.
All I know is they have it on
kind of.
TV. Eric Bischoff had decided to do this thing where he felt in order to keep things kind of fresh and non-stagnant and unpredictable is to give it a format, which seems the opposite of what the goal was. Because he felt that, one of the things with WWE and WCW is that there was no format. It was just like, all right, here's the show, we're going to do this, 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 and there's no format, I guess, week to week, like a regular television series would. So that's when he came up with the idea of doing the open fight night and having the gut check and any of their other challenges that, whatever their theme is for that week.
I kind of like the open fight night concept.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it, but I think as far as when you have the gut check being one of those things, and it's like that's saying that every month almost, or every 2 months at least, you're looking at new talent that you plan on to hire, and you're already exposing them on TV, and then what? What are you going to do with them after you hire them?
That's kind of where it went wrong. I like the theory and concept, and initially it was kind of a cool setup, but they didn't really follow through with it. Like, after you got people to invest in a certain guy, they went back down OVW for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I thought, maybe it just should have been, they were brought up and then maybe given, maybe a month's worth of TV to develop the character, and kind of do like if you lost X amount of times, you're gone and you're sent back, or if the crowd reacts to you well, then you kept up and brought into a main spot, a la Joey Ryan, or Christian York.
Well, I don't want to knock TNA, especially after our coordinator, Stacy Podolsky, got some media passes to go to MCU Park this past weekend, and actually got to talk to Joseph Park, whose last name is Park.
Yeah.
And Park, yeah. Anyway.
Well, we'll highlight this by saying the views of the people that hosted the hot tag do not represent Stacy Podolsky and the entire crew of 14. These are our opinions.
No, but not to knock TNA, but they're not necessarily in their inception anymore, because there's been many changes since they began, but they're still brand spanking new compared to the legacy of that. I mean, even WWE, which is like kind of almost rebranding itself in a way, from, they're not the Attitude Era anymore, they're not the Federation anymore, they very rarely touch on things that happened before the 80s, but they still have this lineage that they can throw back on just by talking about the championship. That's the same championship that's been around for the NWA, and they can talk about all these things. TNA is still very brand new, and I feel that by trying to, in my opinion, it seems, trying to do the same thing WWE is without the foundation of, to be able to do that. What I mean by doing the same thing is you see what they're doing with NXT, or even before that when they had Tough Enough. They have these territorial organizations that they can, dive into. TNA shouldn't, they don't have all that yet, and they shouldn't really try to. I know they have OVW, but
I don't think it's branded. WWE is branded.
Right.
It's WWE. You think WWE, and you think, TNA is. There's no one in there, I think, maybe but like AJ Styles, who's TNA. You look at Kurt Angle, you're like WWE. You look at the Devon, Jeff Hardy. It's like those guys are. It's you think WWE right off the bat.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
I think no, it's not.
I don't know.
I feel like they need to. They're like you knew back in the day when you were watching WWE, you were watching WCW before the whole switcheroo happened in the
Right.
'90s. You knew. Oh, there's Sting.
Yeah.
Sting,
There's Lex Luger, there's
WCW,
Barry
Lex
Windham,
Luger,
right, yeah.
The Four Horsemen, bam,
Yeah, that's
WCW.
WCW.
Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and WWF.
Yeah.
But as far as with the gut check and everything like that, I think since they're not grounded yet, they don't have their foundation yet, they're still building, they're a baby. I think that they should keep it old school and grab the best talent you can from around, the indies or even, the big organization. I'm not saying don't touch, or try to create your own talent pool out of OVW. But if you need the best competitors that you have so you can compete in this, market against the one big fish in this pool, then you don't really have the ability to just try building your own and with OVW. Sure, it's nice to look at OVW. They may have some really talented guys that you can build up from the top. But if you know that over here in the East Coast or down here down south or over on the West Side, there's someone who already has a name for themselves, already has a following, grab them. Grab him, grab her. Why Evilise is not part of TNA right now does not make sense to me. She has a buzz. She was already in WWE. She for like the 2 seconds she was there. She has a following in the Northeast. Puerto Ricans love her. Put her on TV. And they had her on Gut Check and they let it go.
I'm happy she's not there because she's with FWE.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And
sorry.
we actually know what to do with, we actually, do something with a talented girl like that. But I want to.
That's my feeling about the Gut Check.
I want to say, about it's kind of hard to say. Here's my theory on TNA, which I'm a big TNA supporter. All my friends, who are watching this, they're going to be surprised that I'm actually, taking it to them on this. But it's hard to say, they're still a baby. When ECW was around less than TNA was, there was a clear direction for them. You knew what they were, even though they kind of evolved, like with WWE. Like, went from a little bit of a hardcore, then more of a wrestling. But there was always, you kind of knew what you were getting.
Right.
TNA, every couple of months when they get a brand new writer, it's always, okay, here's the board, here's what we had 5 months ago, erasing it. Now it's like a lottery every time. It's kind of related to like a soap opera. Like when they get new head writers, all the storylines begin to change. And that's what happens with TNA. In the history, it's insane how many people they've gone through, from the Jarretts to Dixie Carter to Vince Russo to Hogan, to Bischoff, and I'm sure there's other people I can't remember right now who actually had a hand. And Terry Taylor had a little bit of a hand in the booking at a time. Even Jimmy Borash was a little bit of a part of the, had a little bit of a say. There was just so many hands and cooks in the kitchen that I think that's one of TNA's problems. There was never a clear-cut direction. AJ Styles would get a push for 5 months. Oh, Hogan's in. Let's bring in Hulk Hogan, Val Venus, the Nasty Boys. They didn't work out. Okay, so now we're going to, bring back Samoa Joe for a little while. Put him back because he's a true and tested guy. Oh no, wait a minute, Sting's coming in. Let's put him in. Oh, Angle's back off the shelf. So that's my big issue where I think TNA, they need to stick to one direction. Build your guys and use the other guys like a Sting and a Kurt Angle to kind of a supporting role, to kind of nurture AJ, Samoa Joe, Magnus, James Storm, because that should be your future.
I can agree with that, except I don't like the idea of putting Kurt Angle in the same category as Sting.
You know what I'm saying. Those are like tried and true legends that say go back to WCW.
You look at Bully Ray.
You had Sting, you had Hulk Hogan.
Bully Ray's an older guy, probably around the same age as Kurt Angle, and they're doing new stuff with him, and he's more interesting now than he has been in a long time. And I just don't like the idea of putting Kurt Angle in the same category as like Sting. Nothing but love for Sting, but I don't see much else. I see him as like the Terry Funk for ECW or the Ric Flair when he was doing his thing with Evolution and WWE. All right, he's your legend, right? He's your guy, and he puts over people.
Yeah.
That's what he should be doing instead of constantly being in the main event. And and I think TNA notices that, and so that's why they're.
Sting should just go head to head with Undertaker. Already.
Well, those rumors are around too. That WWE is trying to.
That's a whole other episode in itself. But I think we have time for one more topic before we sign off on the special edition.
Sorry, I would like.
Which one do you like? I see Triple H.
Japanese lucha, hardcore.
Hey, how do you feel about Triple H?
How do I feel about Triple H? Do we want to close off on that one?
No.
Do we want to close off on Triple H?
I just know he has his.
No, wait.
Do we want to close off?
There'll be a mark for it. Hold on. The whole situation with the Briscoe brothers in Ring of Honor, right?
Ooh.
And the World Title Tournament. Speaking of Paul London, he's in it.
Brian Kendrick's in it as well.
Yes.
Good for him. Both of them. I love that tag team.
How you guys feel about the whole situation with the Briscoes?
I've never actually been a fan of the Briscoes to begin with.
Really?
So yeah, I always, and I think I've said this on one edition that you were on, talking about Antonio Cesaro and Evan Bourne.
Right.
My first real big exposure to Ring of Honor was one of their taped pay-per-views that they started airing on. It's that when before the video on demand came online, they were doing stuff on regular pay-per-view. So I decided to give it a try aboard, and I think one of the matches was the Briscoes against the former Claudio Castagnoli and Matt Sydal. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see these guys. People hyping them to the moon.
Right.
Was not impressed. I was watching with a friend. I said, these two guys are going to be stars. These two guys are more impressive, meaning Castagnoli and Seidel.
Right.
And a couple months later, Seidel gets signed and becomes Evan Bourne, and then Claudio becomes.
Yeah.
So.
As far as
I guess good to see me and Vince are on the same wavelength there, but.
man,
yeah, was that not a fan?
I don't know what to say about the Briscoe situation because I'm not sure how much of this is stemming from the comments that I think is Jay made, Jay Briscoe online, and
Pull the
man,
pin.
I wanted to avoid this topic.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I just like, he had.
No,
I understand it's a corporate company, but I
Right.
believe kind of has his right to say
He
how
has,
he
he
feels.
has the right to say what he wants, and here's the thing, as an American, yes, it is your right to say however you feel, no matter what it is that you
I was
say.
just talking about the World Title Tournament.
Okay.
Not that part.
Well, I don't know.
I was just like interested in I like.
He was thinking that's
Well,
kind of what life
yeah,
maybe. That kind of, because that maybe their departure was kind of
yeah, the
stemming off of that.
I don't know much about the tournament, so I can't really comment about the tournament. Unfortunately, this is and not even unfortunately. This is whether it's you want to look at it as a corporate thing or in the in the NWA, in the NBA, any major league sport, you represent something. You are a role model, whether you like it or not. The whole Charles Barkley belief of I'm nobody's role model. You may not believe so, but somebody's watching you and somebody wants to be like you, whether you like that or not. So you have influence. The moment you're on camera, that's some sort of influence, it's some sort of power that you have, and you that you have to watch what you say when you're representing something on at all.
I agree.
And this isn't new. This is maybe wrestlers, especially small time not mainstream wrestlers, who they don't see themselves as celebrities because they're wrestlers. We're not actors or movie stars or musicians. We're wrestlers. We're not celebrities. But the way that the fans look at you is the same way as they would look at a celebrity. And whether you're on Twitter saying whatever you want, they see that and they're influenced by that. And I'm not saying that he should have been released, or he wasn't even released. The contract was up and they decided not to re-sign him as champion. That I don't think was smart. I think they should have get him to put him in a match, put him in a tournament, and then once you're actually done with the Briscoes, then you're done with the Briscoes. I don't think it's right at all to have your champion just depart with the belt. I think that's kind of messed up. The belt, to a lot of people, including the ROH belt, it means something.
Yeah, it's the point
if
of
you're a
professional
wrestling
wrestling, winning
fan,
the world championship.
everything is behind. Yeah, and so I think it's ridiculous. It's not the first time people have been, first time for ROH maybe. I don't know.
Most likely, from what I can remember. Yeah.
I don't know when something like this has happened before, but pre ROH, it's happened before where people get suspended and they have to drop the belt, and then there goes the tournament. And as a competitor in an organization, if you're responsible for your actions, as you're responsible for your actions at all times. And so while I think it sucks, I think it's messed up, I think there's a different way they could have gone about things, I'm looking forward to the tournament. I'm ready to move on. I'm not worried about what the Briscoes are going to do.
Yeah, it's professional wrestling. Age-old saying, one person does not make a company. So hope if they'll show if they can survive, if they can build somebody new. Like they did when all the others, like when the CM
Are you
Punk's
trying to find
departed.
the Briscoes tweet?
No. This is a picture of us.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Stacy Poldesky, already hard at work.
So, Mr. Rice, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, they haven't even announced really many. I think like 3 or 4 competitors they've
You gotta
announced.
see how it unfolds. I love tournaments.
You think they're going to put one of my good friends, the television champion Matt Taven, in the tournament? Maybe.
It would be cool to have.
I mean,
What-
he's already a
I-
champion. He should be a top contender for it. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's kind of it for this edition. This was actually kind of fun. We might have to do more of these intermingled with our prediction shows.
Yeah, I like this. I like being able to just talk about whatever.
Definitely. We hopefully have some surprises.
This was
coming
very
through the summer.
random. This is a very random group of
Topics.
Next time,
I will talk about Triple H.
Yeah.
It's a little too hot. I would have really got angry, but I will talk about that next time. That could be like a whole episode. Well, I think that and
So do you want to
there
go
was
on?
and
Do
this
you want
thing
to do a nerd rage episode? Do you just want to go on a just rage?
I think we could do a whole episode, just half of it being Triple H and the other half being Sting and Undertaker rumors, and that whole deal. But yeah, had a good time. Thank you everyone for watching the first
had a
10
good time?
episodes of
It's great.
This lemon is great.
watching the hot tag. Joey, I'm glad. Put your feet down.
Okay.
Joey, I'm glad we started this together.
Woohoo!
Having a great time, and it's evolved into joining the authentic one, Brandon Lewis.
I am the authentic.
Uncle Steve is not here today. Got a little sick.
He's
Shout
got a
out to
case
you.
of the stripes.
She'll be.
I heard you guys got dehydrated because it's too hot out.
You know what? But he's kind of small too, so.
He's a tiny little man. He's a wee little man. He's a wee little.
But yeah, you can
Steve.
follow Joey Ace on Twitter at Joey Ace. Joey Anthony.
You don't even know.
How you not know?
I don't know anybody's really Twitter. I have to start typing in the real names to just.
We getting food after this? I'm hungry.
Anyway,
I
Joey
need some
Anthony
more
88
Magners.
on Twitter.
Yes.
AJ_Pan.
No, close. No, AJ_Pan_PC. So you didn't know.
Oh, you got a PC. I don't
Yeah,
need
and it's on
it. You invited me, okay? You invited me.
And yours is.
Authentic B Lewis on Twitter.
Yeah, so follow that. Keep following 1495 Sports. They have great coverage on professional wrestling, on every sport, So great exclusive interviews with this man, Brandon Lewis.
I do
Covers
things.
FW events.
Yes.
And other,
I cover FW events. Also, thank you to
Oh,
the people from House of
real
Thank you
quick.
to the people from House of Glory. I had a very cool interview with a couple of people there, including Sammy Callahan. So yeah, thank you to those guys.
I'm
there.
waiting for my interview with Brandon Lewis. I never get one.
I
at
was
these shows.
there.
I know.
You were busy handling what's her name?
Whoa!
Please say I don't want to be. You say it. I don't want to.
Did that sound inappropriate?
No,
I'm
but it sounded
sorry.
great to me. Please say who it was.
What name is she going by this time? Is she Winter? Is she
You can, as long as you Sylvia
Katarina Lee? Katarina Lee.
There we go.
Where she did say off camera that he was her handler. So there you go. You are the official handler of talent. And,
That creeper?
that creep, yeah, exactly. I don't know how she allowed
Well,
that.
she's from England. I guess they like that's kind of cool over there.
I guess so.
This guy looks like he walked out
Creepers
of the
are
Nirvana video.
adorable.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh,
you
you're
wanna
so
say
cool with,
something?
Real
with
quick,
your
real
Express
quick.
shirt. You're really cool
Oh,
there.
just shut your mouth.
I just cheek you.
Warriors of Wrestling is back at the Fun Station July 27th with Ultimate Survival, 30-man over the top rope battle royal, and the Diamond Exchange, 5-star stud Joe Ace, with Steven Sterling and the Lady Diamond D going up against EYFBO for a #1 contendership.
What happened to your world
the-
title? I was waiting for you to bring the the WoW Championship to.
Maybe I might bring the Wild Tag Team titles.
I wanna see it
to
on
the
the
hot
hot
tag
tag.
in a couple
Oh
months.
yeah, I want to see that.
But yeah, it's #1 contention for the champ for the shot of the titles, man.
That's
All
it.
right, YFBO.
So we got that. Follow us on Twitter.
What?
Please,
Guess that.
please like the hot tag on Facebook. Follow 1495 Sports at 1495 Sports on Twitter. We hope to have some really fun stuff coming up for you this summer.